Claudia Cruz, editor of Mountain View Patch, and welcome to Patchcast.
Hi, I'm L.A. Chung for Los Altos Patch. Our colleague Ann Ernst with Cupertino Patch is not with us today because she's at the scene on Vista Court in Cupertino, where a tragic accident took place last night. A 5-year-old boy was hit by a neighbor as he was backing out of his driveway. The young boy succumbed of his injuries, unfortunately, about shortly before midnight last night. Ann will be back and give us a report next week. So now, on to Los Altos Patch News. So for Los Altos news this week, we are back on the Bullis Charter School watch. It's been a short break, and technically speaking, everyone still is on break. A lot of people are on vacation with the school district, and meetings have not started for the school district yet. But very quietly, the Bullis Charter School filed a lawsuit that was delivered shortly before the 4th of July holiday. They have filed for a motion to compel the school district, the Los Altos School District, to be in compliance with Prop 39 that will guarantee reasonably equivalent facilities. This is for the 2012-2013 year. Bullis Charter Schools always maintained that they needed 10 acres of campus in order to run their program, which is a K-8 program. However, this year, as with every year, the charter school has been unhappy with the offer that the school district has made. The school district did something a little bit different this year. It offered Bullis Charter School a little bit over 11 acres, but spread over 2 different school sites. So about I'm trying to remember the sizes. A little bit over 7 acres is going to be located at Egan Junior High School, which is where Bullis Charter School has been for a while. And a little bit over, somewhat over 3 acres is going to be at Block Intermediate School. It was envisioned that perhaps the 7th and 8th graders of Bullis Charter School would be housed at Block Intermediate School, and that the K-6 program could be housed at the Egan Junior High School. Together that's 11 acres, but the problem is, from Bullis Charter School standpoint, it is not a single contiguous campus. And on top of it, they find that it's only the acreage that they are getting is a little bit chopped up, quite a bit chopped up in some cases, and in some cases not even passable, possibly in the winter months when there might be a lot of rain. It could be quite muddy. So they are back in court on that. The basis of this is going to be the October 2011 appeals court decision that found in Bullis Charter School's favor on a previous facilities offer, and so they are due back in court on August 15th. The Los Altos School District says that they are confident that they have a good, solid offer in compliance with Prop 39, and they will be answering the lawsuit later on this month. I'd like to promote something that we're starting new at Los Altos Patch. We've noticed that police news has been of great concern, whether it has to do with robberies, burglaries, identity theft, and in some cases towing, because towing has been in the news quite a bit this past month. We've had towing actions taking place at Foothill Crossings Shopping Center because of a habit that people have of parking there for a long time and not actually patronizing the businesses, but going elsewhere like hiking or biking, or even to ball games or fishing trips over the weekend. So we're going to start a program called Ask a Cop. If you have questions about something you've always wondered about, and we had a reader very recently ask a lot of very detailed questions about towing, we're going to ask the Los Altos Police Department, and as we can, the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department, about those sorts of questions. So feel free to write in with your question to losaltos@patch.com, or put it in the comments if you see our Ask a Cop feature start over the next couple of weeks. In other news, we have Mount Umunhum, the hearing that was scheduled to take place on Wednesday, July 18th. This has to do with a open space preserve called the Sierra Azul Preserve that is part of the Mid-Peninsula Regional Open Space District Parks. At the top of Mount Umunhum is a 5-story tower And many people have wondered what this is. You can, from the valley floor, see this tower from all around, and a lot of people have wondered. This was a Cold War era operation that the Air Force ran, and it was monitoring the skies against possible incursions. Some of its most ardent supporters remind us, those of us who don't remember what the Cold War was, that this was the type of thing, this was the type of action that allowed so many citizens, and certainly those of us in the valley, to sleep peacefully at night. The board of the Mid-Peninsula Regional Open Space District is expected to make a decision in the fall based on the input that they received from the hearing on July 18th. There were 3 options that were developed over the past year. Option 1 was to take down the entire tower, this 5-story tower, and leave interpretive signs there. Option 2 was to take down most of the tower and leave some columns and standing walls so that people could have events there and public gatherings there, and also have some interpretive signs. Option 3 had to do with shoring up the building, bringing it up to code, and then sealing it so you could never go in there. But people could see what took place at this tower without turning it into a museum or anything like that. It probably is the more cost-effective. If anyone wanted to make it into a museum, there would have to be a separate campaign for that kind of effort, and that is not one of the options. However, you can look at losaltos.patch.com or cupertino.patch.com and see what one resident has as an idea for this site. Lastly, I'd like to talk a little bit about Reader's Choice. This is a feature of Patch that we have relaunched, and this allows us to have reader input on what businesses and restaurants and services in our local communities that you want to patronize. We are going to be having live active voting on 25 different categories throughout Los Altos and surrounding communities. For different businesses. So you'll have a choice of 25 different categories. Vote for your favorite. Look for it on July 23rd. Patchcast has a new feature, and I want to introduce it because I'm so excited about it. We're going to have our first guest appear on Patchcast and to talk about things happening in the Bay Area. This was about the Dragon Boat Festival. It took place last month. Well, last month was Dragon Boat Festival. We celebrated that in June. And just recently in Fremont at Quarry Lakes, we had the Dragon Boat Tournament that just took place. A lot of people know that dragon boat racing has come from China, but not many of us know that why it originated in China. We're lucky because we have Patch writer Crystal Tai here, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about it. Crystal, welcome.
Thanks, Lisa. Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to tell the story here. Dragon boat racing began in 278 BC. That was the year a famous Chinese poet, Qu Yuan, committed suicide. He drowned himself in a river. Villagers who lived by the river took their boats out to rescue him, but they didn't even find his body. To commemorate the deceased poet, villagers rowed their boats again on the river on the anniversary of his death. This gradually developed into a racing game nationwide and followed Chinese immigrants to the United States. Well, Chinese people decorate their boats with dragon sculptures. Surprise, surprise! You know how much Chinese people are into dragons.
So, what made this poet so memorable in China that so many people come out every year?
Well, this poet is remembered for his patriotism. In his lifetime, China was divided as 7 small kingdoms. He was a high official in the Chu Kingdom, the southernmost of the 7. Other officials who were jealous of him persuaded the king to banish him. Then he spent the next 20 years of his life in exile. Even so, his love for the Chu Kingdom never faded. In 278 BC, another kingdom named the Qin conquered the Chu Kingdom. that devastated the poet. He killed himself because he could not live without his country.
So if I understand this correctly, this happy festival actually started with a tragedy.
Yes, it amazes me how my ancestors turned this tragedy into festivities. Dragon Boat Racing is a cheerful game. You can't see any trace of sadness in it. To me, this symbolizes resilience.
Well, certainly here in the United States, there's a lot of dragon boat racing that takes place. As you can see here, we have Quarry Lakes that just took place in July 8th. And it's turned into something else here, hasn't it?
Yes, it's quite different over here. In the Greater China, including Taiwan, dragon boat racing only takes place on Dragon Boat Festival, a Chinese holiday that's actually the poet's death anniversary. And that is the 5th day of the 5th lunar month. It usually falls in late May or in June. This year it was June 23rd.
So I understand you have written a book, an ebook, that will tell us more about this holiday and some of the other ones, like the Mid-Autumn Festival that's coming up in September.
Exactly. It's called A Poetic Portal to Chinese Culture. It introduces all the Chinese holidays of the year by taking the reader through an imaginary calendar. It also includes English translations of Chinese poems related to Chinese holidays or customs. It's got 5-star reviews on Amazon.com, and if you are a Kindle Primary member, you can borrow it for free. If you're interested, you can find it on Amazon.com by searching either the book title, A Poetic Portal to Chinese Culture, or just my name.
That's great. Crystal, since you're bilingual, could you say something to our audience in Chinese?
Sure. 各位华人观众朋友，大家好，非常荣幸今天在这里用英文向主流媒体观众介绍龙舟的由来。我是 Patch.com 的记者。Patch.com 是一个英文的网络媒体，主要做的是社区新闻，非常重视华人社区新闻，希望大家多多支持。
And I'd like to echo that if I understood exactly what that was. If you want to look for Crystal's book, you can find it on Amazon.com, and you can also search by her name, Crystal Tai, T-A-I is how you spell her name. You can also find her name on the on Patch, so if you go to cupertino.patch.com, you can certainly find it there. I'm L.A. Chung for Cupertino Patch, standing in for Ann Ernst, the Cupertino Patch editor. Thank you for joining us.
I'm Claudia Cruz, editor of Mountain View Patch, and welcome to Patchcast. Patch.com is an online network of community sites across the country. And here in the San Francisco Bay Area, in particular, we're bringing you news from the communities of Los Altos, Mountain View, and Cupertino. Marissa Meyer, former VP of Google Local Services, has been tapped as the new CEO of struggling company Yahoo. Yahoo, a Sunnyvale-based company, has had 5 CEOs in the past 5 years, and the news that Meyer will be joining the executive team as CEO, president, and as a member of the board, sent Yahoo's stock up on Monday. This will some of the commentary that you might hear is that this is definitely a loss for Google. Great coup on Yahoo's part, shaking up Silicon Valley and of course Wall Street. What this means is that with her bringing her 13 years of experience as a Googler to Yahoo, that is still trying to sort of reinvent itself and figure out its positioning in the valley and amongst the tech companies, it could bring some stiff competition to Mountain View-based Google. And so we'll see how that begins to shape up in the months and weeks to come. But you might also see in the months and weeks to come that Meyer's belly get bigger, because she announced on Tuesday in an exclusive interview with Fortune magazine that she was 6 months pregnant and expecting a boy in October. This is actually the first time that sitting CEO is pregnant, according to Forbes magazine, who states that there are 20 women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. That's 4% of the Fortune 500 companies. Now, this has raised a lot of reactions in the Valley, because the question is whether or not women in Silicon Valley can have it all. Can you be a top-level executive and also have children? One thing you won't be able to have in Silicon Valley moving forward is foie gras, and the chef and management at Chez TJ learned the hard way when several dozen demonstrators showed up at their doorstep on Friday, July 13th. The demonstrators were protesting the fact that Chez TJ was still serving foie gras, which was against the ban that went into effect in California on July 1st.
So can you explain a little bit, what is it about the law that you feel you're still compliant with?
The law at this point explains that we are not allowed to sell the product or the delicacy, and we're not selling them because as of July 1st, customers before that were demanding to have foie gras. We bought a fair amount of it, and we had some left that as of July 1st, we have been giving it away rather than throwing it away.
Santa Clara County animal activist group said that was still against the law.
So as of July 1st, when the California foie gras ban went into effect, all products and sales from force-fed ducks became illegal. So Chez TJ thinks that they're going to be able to evade enforcement of the California foie gras ban by giving it away for free with their tasting menu. But guests are still paying $130 for that tasting menu. So by including free foie gras with that tasting menu, where guests know that they're going to receive foie gras as part of that larger sale, it still amounts to a sale, and it's in violation of the California foie gras ban.
The case is being looked at by the Consumer Protections Unit at the District Attorney's Office, and we will let you know what comes of it in the next couple of weeks, if there's any civil action taken against the one-star Michelin-rated restaurant in Mountain View. The Chamber of Commerce of Mountain View held its annual mixer last week at Synopsis in Sunnyvale and installed its 2012-2013 board. CEO Oscar Garcia went through a list of previous year accomplishments, which included the first social media conference which they held, and also included a growth in membership and the fact that they were able to put some money back into their reserve coffers after having had to borrow against it during harder economic times. Incoming board chair Sherry Sager of the Lucia Packard Children's Hospital challenged members and attendees to push the Chamber of Mountain View to new heights and try to make it one of the best in the state. You know, there's opportunities with merchants. For example, Oscar Garcia spoke about how Google will now seek to find services within the city of Mountain View for their Googleplex, but forced looking elsewhere. So things like that is some of the things that the Chamber is looking forward to. On that note, the Chamber of Commerce's Art and Wine Festival celebrates its 41st anniversary, and it will take place Saturday, September 8th and Saturday, September 9th. So look forward for more information about that on Patch. Another anniversary that was just recently celebrated was Lee's Comic. Lee's Comics celebrated 30 years in Silicon Valley, and its store on Rexdorf Plaza, right next to the Costco, held a big celebration on July 9th, and it just brought everybody out. And there was toys, there was t-shirts giving out, there were cake made by the Filipino bakery next door, Goldilocks. And if you go on Patch.com, you will be able to see a blog written by Lee's Comic founder, Lee Hester, and you can catch up on what it is that occurred. And let us know who your favorite comic hero is. Who's your alter ego? What was the first comic you ever bought? And how important is this local neighborhood establishment to you? So check Patch.com. Also, last week, Cheryl Burke got to meet two of our local residents. Joy McCarthy and was the winner of the Patch contest, where she won passes to participate in the group Cha-Cha lesson that two-time Dancing with the Stars champion Cheryl Burke hosted at her dance studio near Shoreline Boulevard in Mountain View. Ms. McCarthy brought her daughter Allie, and together they actually took several classes, the cha-cha with Cheryl Burke, and then stayed on for the waltz. And they liked it so much they have decided to continue taking more dance lessons. So you see, dancing can uplift the spirits, as I like to say, because I like to dance. So nominations for political office have kicked off across California. And here in Mountain View, as of this Patchcast airing or taping, at least 4 people have brought in information that they plan to nominate themselves as city council members for Mountain View. There are 4 positions open, and right now there's 4 names signed up. The current mayor, Mike Kasperzak, Mountain View resident Margaret Capriles, current vice mayor John Inks, and Chris Clark, a local startup executive, and he's pretty well known in political circles as he ran also in 2008 for city council office. So we will keep you updated on changes to the roster of people interested in the positions on mountainviewpatch.com, but also check out the list, because there will also be contests for positions in the Mountain View Wisman School District, Mid-Peninsula Regional Open Space District, El Camino Hospital Board, Mountain View Los Altos Union High School District, and many other positions. So if you follow politics and care about your local community, stay on top. We'll hopefully help you stay on top of what's going on. And it's just a quick reminder of some of the summer things that are happening. We still have the summer movie series. Last week was Kung Fu Panda at Cuesta Park. We still have on July 20th, Puss in Boots at Wisman Park. July 27th, The Incredibles at Eagle Park. On August 3rd, The Muppets at Stevenson Park. August 10th, Cars at Sylvan Park. And August 17th, Happy Feet 2 at Reinsdorf Park. In between that, the next Thursday Night Live event is July 26th, followed by August 9th and August 23rd. The Thursday Night Live events all take place on Castro Street. However, there is a summer concert series that you can also swing by, and the concert series take place at the different parks and on every other Thursday between Thursday Night Live. So on July 19th at Cuesta Park, head over to listen to some 80s and 90s songs with the cover band Cocktail Monkeys. On August 2nd, head to Reinsdorf Park so you can dance a little bit of a Latin groove with a tribute to Santana. And a sign of the times, I want to leave you with a couple of breakdancers that I bumped into in front of City Hall recently. Breakdancers, not very often seen in Mountain View, but these young Mountain View High School students want to make sure that it becomes popular and people understand what it is. And here's a bit of an interview with them.
You guys a little tired after your breakdancing there?
Yeah.
Definitely. What's your name here?
Oh, I'm Adam.
Adam, and you are?
Kevin.
Kevin, and why do you guys breakdance? How do you guys get into this?
Well, we just started out with like YouTube videos. Like, he's the one who introduced me first. And we just like, it's something we can do for fun, for free. And it's fun, and it's like, it's a way to express ourselves.
Awesome. Yeah. I think like awesome. Also, we get to like hang out and stuff, just like mess around.
Yeah.
And like breakdancing is like, it's a hard form of art. It's cool to just like, you know, have something that everyone can do, and like practicing makes it worthwhile.
And cool. Do you guys have like a crew? You said that there were more of you that usually get here together.
Well, usually, yeah. We formed like 5 to 6 people, and we usually have like daily practices, like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And most of the time they come. Sometimes they don't. I don't know. They can't show up.
What are your goals? Are you guys hoping to just do this for fun as long as you can? Do you hope to maybe get on a TV show one day like America's Best Dance Crew? I mean, how do you feel about like where this could take you now that dance is actually, I mean, legitimately more in television than it used to be years ago?
Well, my goal personally is not really to get on TV or get like, well, it is to get exposure, but mostly I just want to introduce more people to this lifestyle, like b-boying, and like we've been spreading it around our school, so a lot more people are doing it now.
And where do you go to school?
Mountain View High School.
Mountain View High. And what year are you guys there?
Yeah, we're juniors.
You're
we're gonna be seniors.
We're turning into seniors.
Rising seniors.
Yeah.
And is dancing something you might consider doing in college too, like a major?
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm not sure about majoring. Maybe a minor in dance, but if I do major in dance, it'll be kind of harder because I think college and dance and college is more technical based. We're not really technical.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe just do like outside things, not that don't really have to do with college.
Like hip hop's more street.
Yeah.
Like ballet technique and contemporary. Like more what you see in like.
What would you tell other kids about, if you're trying to inspire other kids to do breakdancing? It looks really hard. Should they do it? Should they not do it?
Yeah, I think they should do it because like it's hard, but it's like when you keep practicing and you feel like improving, like it makes you want to breakdance more. So it's just like, oh god, this is so cool, and it's just like, I don't know, it's something like really cool.
Yeah, it's just something that's really fun, and it may look hard, but it just takes practice and time, and just having fun and trying to form your own style. And you just have fun with it. It's really that's it. Yeah.
Thank you to the crew, staff of KMVT for letting us bring you Patchcast every week, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.